So today, guys, we're going to be talking about 6 things you guys can do to prepare for the new year, year 5, and season 1. Now, a few of these will be for everybody, and a few of these will be for new and returning players. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into it right now. And the first thing we're going to start off with is stash space. So if you guys look here, we have the stash space, right? And before any type of event, any type of season, you guys know we're gonna get a brand new seasonal pass. What does that mean? A lot of loot. So my recommendation is go through your stash and look for items that aren't god rolls. So you can see I even have some items in here that aren't god roll. I have some that are, I have some that aren't. So for me, I'll go through these and I'll start to pick the ones that I really don't want. And you can do this for all of your items. Also, if you notice, I have 124 items out of 150. Recommendation is create the classes you like to play with. And if you have any items that aren't tied to that loadout, right? You see the little loadout symbol, put them into your stash and then go through them. Start going through your stash and start doing some stash management. Another way to help you out with this is it's going to be in our next point. But I will say if you have more than one character, you remember they also have 150 stash space. So that means you could actually store some of these stash items over there and then it'll free up some stash space. So if you feel like you're kind of full here, you guys can make other one. But yeah, stash is a big thing. I recommend doing at the very beginning, right before an event goes live, because the worst thing you want to do is say like right now, right? We're going to go look at the seasonal pass, right? You go here, you have a full season. Look at all this loot that you're going to end up getting. This isn't the one from year 5, but it's going to be like this, right? With a lot of loot. You don't want to have to go through all this and try to be managing stuff on the go. You want to make it more simple for you, right? So by doing that, having less stuff in your inventory will be good. And then also your stash space, having this set up so that you can just start throwing items into it. So that is number 1, guys. Focus on kind of clearing up your stash space, getting rid of some of those items that you don't need, that are duplicates or you haven't used in a while and they aren't even good rolled. Recommend doing that first. So number 2 is actually going to be materials. So if we go over to my shade watch, right, and you go here, you guys can see this gives us the materials that we typically use to level up our gear, right, to optimize it. You can see I have some pretty good numbers here, right? But ideally, the closer you can get to cap is going to be the best because you'll start to run through these pretty quick. So there's a lot of different ways that you guys can actually fill this up. But one way I will tell you is, hey, if you're not grinding the open world, if you're not farming control points, creating a new account works. So if you go here, we're gonna log out and you see I have my main character right here. But if you notice, I actually have 3 other characters. And this also goes back to the storage. If you guys know, if I were to log into this account, which I'll do right now. So we're in my other account and you look at this, I don't even have a build on this account, but if you look, we have 140 items on here. A lot of these items are green gear sets and a few other god rolls that I currently don't use. But like I was telling you about the storage, this is a great place for you. So you have a lot of extra storage space, almost 150 items. But not only that, you guys realize every time you make a new character, you guys are going to share the shade watch. So right here we have 31. But when you make a new character, you'll have all those shade levels. So if I were to make a new character, I have 3,653 shade level. I'm going to have scavenging points here that I can use and stack into this. Now, remember, if you do this 3 times, you share all of those. So typically what I do is once I have 2 other characters for storage, my 4th character is the one that I'll come in and I'll just do Warlords of New York again. So you can just skip to Warlords, right? You can do that level 40, that level 30 skip, go to Warlords of New York, and then you can just spend all your shade points on your scavenging points on shade, on field, on printer filaments, whatever you need to help you level up. But it's good for 2 things, right? You'll have the 2 extra characters for storage, as you guys are seeing here. You'll have your last character, which I just use to run through Warlords, and then I'll just get those points and then I'll use them. So I have 2 storage characters, my main character, 2 storage characters, which the materials, I'm sharing those materials anyway, right? Those shade levels. And then obviously my final character, which I'll delete once I use everything, boost the character again, and just do it over and over. So not only is it good for storage space to have extra characters, but then also that fourth character you'll be using to get the materials over and over. And that's something I recommend everybody doing. At least run through it. It takes you about maybe solo, maybe 3 to 4 hours to finish one character, and then you'll have all those materials for your other one. I do recommend to be at least, if you guys are 2000 shade level, is where you benefit most from it. Well, not benefit most, but 2000 to 2500 is kind of where I recommend. Anything under that, it might not be worth it, but the storage space is. So just something for you to keep in mind. Now, this third one is for new players. If you just got into the game and just got to Warlords, highly recommend trying to knock out your specialization tree. Like, unlock all of these, work on them, work on the ones you enjoy the most, work on the ones you see that work with builds you like. Because what this allows you to do is it will allow you to create unique builds, different play styles, and play very differently. So if I was you, I 100% would knock this out if you're new or returning and you haven't done these all. Not only that, you're going to gain XP while you're doing it, so your shade level is going to go up at the same time. So definitely work on this, and that's personally what I would do if I was a new returning player who hadn't done this. Now, fourth, we're going to be talking about shade levels, right? So you guys know I have 3,653, but most of you guys know by now, if you guys actually do these resource convoys, we don't right here, these resource convoys, and you put on global directives, you put 4 global directives, you will get a ton of XP that is great for you. So ideally, this is going to be the fastest way for you to level up, as you guys are seeing in some of this gameplay right here. It's very fast, very easy to do. I want to say about 1 minute to knock these all out, so your shade levels will continue to go up. So that's what I would do. You remember, this is going to be taking a big nerf because they're going to be distributing how you get XP in the game. But right now, these resource convoys are the best way for you to level up. And this goes away on June 8th. So just remember, this right here, if you guys want to take advantage of it, work on shade levels. And that's all you're working on because you already got everything taken care of. This is a great way for you guys to do that. So the fifth thing we're going to be talking about is exotic components. You can see I have 101 exotic components. If you're near end game and that's all you need to do, because you guys know we're going to get actually 2 new exotics, but 1 new exotic weapon that I would recommend putting some expertise into, especially if you're already expertise 22, going up to 23 when it does come out. You guys want to farm these exotic components, and there's definitely a lot of different ways you guys can do it. You guys can do control points, and remember the little box, the cash box for the reward box at the end. You guys have a chance. You also have the dark zone. Dark zone has those boxes where you use keys on, or you pick. Those have a chance of dropping exotic components. You also have your global event. You guys know there's currently a global event going on. You guys can use your stars to buy global event caches. Any extra exotic you have, you can deconstruct anytime you get an exotic cache for doing different things like projects. You can deconstruct it. And I recommend, if you want to get your weapon to at least expertise 20 because you're there, you're going to need about 54. I believe it's 54 exotic components. So you guys see I already have on this account, we already have 101. So just something for you guys to keep in mind, not bad at all. Now, number 6 and the final one for this video is blueprints. This is more for you new returning players. If you head over to the crafting station, if you don't have this 85 out of 85, recommend farming for them. Now, some of the better blueprints are all going to be coming from challenging and heroic control points, level 3. If you go over any of these when they're not selected, it will show you exactly what you need. But some of the more popular ones for the 20 round mag on your 5.56, 7.62, even your vector, those will all come from level challenging and heroic control points. So just something for you guys to keep in mind. I personally, if I was new returning and didn't have those, that would be a priority. Not only that, you'll have a chance of getting good loot, and you could be working on your expertise, right? You could be working at the same time you're doing that. You could just be donating all your stuff on the expertise tab, and you could be working on getting those max rolls for your library so you could use for future builds. So That is the final thing I would recommend you guys doing. And this is all to get ready for year 5. So there's a little something for everybody in there, for you veterans, for you returning players, and for you new players. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.